Pakistan's Asif Ali Zardari has finally caved in to his rival's mounting pressure over the judges issue. But does that mean a victory for the opposition? And will it prevent further turmoil in the country? This is Inside Story. Welcome to the show. I'm Mariam Namazi. Former Chief Justice of Pakistan Iftekhar Mohammed Chaudhry and other deposed judges are about to get their jobs back. In a surprise move, President Asif Ali Zardari gave in to the demand after days of protest marches led by opposition leader Nawaz Sharif. Zaina Khoda reports on why the reinstating of the judges is such a controversial issue for Pakistan.
No one here could hide their excitement. Supporters of the opposition and the lawyers' movement say the rule of law has prevailed. They gathered outside the home of Iftekhar Chaudhry, the former Supreme Court Chief Justice, minutes after it was announced he would be reinstated, a main demand of the opposition that led them to call off the long march protest.
On behalf of the President of Pakistan and myself, I announce the restoration of all deposed judges to their positions, including Iftekhar Mohammed Chaudhry. On March the 21st, upon retirement of Justice Abdul Hamid Dogar, Chief Justice Iftekhar Mohammed Chaudhry will assume office of the Chief Justice. Notification of this is being issued right now.
It has been a long struggle for the lawyers' movement, over 2 years, ever since Chaudhry, along with scores of other judges, were sacked by then-President Pervez Musharraf.
It came so late because of the pressure which was made and was enforced by the legal fraternity, along with all the political parties, along with the civil society, along with the students. So we feel really proud of the decision.
The political turmoil was about restoring faith in a proper legal system. Many see Chaudhry as the man who can do just that, a symbol of resistance, since he did resist pressure from Musharraf before being suspended in March 2007. Many believe Musharraf did that to preempt a decision that could challenge his legality as president, and the opposition accusing President Asif Zardari of doing the same, fearing Chaudhry could limit presidential powers and reopen corruption charges against him. Zardari had campaigned on a promise to uphold an independent judiciary and reinstate the judges.
Go Zardari, go! That is what opposition supporters are chanting. It's the same slogans that were used months before former President Pervez Musharraf was forced from power. Pakistanis view the events of the recent days as a replica of the political turmoil that led to Musharraf's downfall.
Opposition leader Nawaz Sharif was spearheading the anti-government campaign. He was leading a convoy of thousands to the capital Islamabad to pressure Zardari to cave in to their demands. No doubt, Sharif has made political gains.
For Mr. Sharif, he has emerged for the first time as a true national political leader. For Mr. Zardari, he has lost a lot of political capital. He has been damaged politically, although for a fresh guy like him who has just been elected, he should not have been undergoing this situation.
For now, the protest has been called off. The barricades and roadblocks on major roads leading into Islamabad will be lifted. A political and possibly a military showdown averted, many say due to pressure from the army and the West. Questions remain, however, on the political implications of the turmoil witnessed over the past few days. Zaina Khoda, Aljazeera, Islamabad.
And joining us now are our guests in Lahore, Rana Aftab Ahmad Khan, President of the Pakistan People's Party, PPP, for the Punjab region. In New York, Rahel Dar, President of the Pakistan Muslim League in the United States. And in Washington, D.C., Shuja Nawaz, Director of the South Asia Center at the Atlantic Council of the United States. Thanks very much indeed, gentlemen, for joining us. Mr. Khan, if I can come to you first. Has Zardari's government caved in by giving in to this demand? Is this a sign of weakness on the part of President Zardari?
No, I don't agree to it, because it was he has shown grace and respect for the institution, And by the way, again, Mr. Zardari has saved Pakistan from a grave crisis. And it was on the 27th of December when he saved Pakistan. He has fulfilled the dream and you could say honored the words of Mohtarma Benazir Bhutto. We have gone through all these challenges and we have suffered a lot. And it was Pakistan People's Party's workers and leaders who laid their lives for the struggle for the lawyers. And we were for it, and this dream has come true because of the grace and honor and dignity he showed, and with the in consultation with the Prime Minister of Pakistan, they have resolved the issues, and I hope now all the institutions will work within their sphere.
Well, let me put some of what you say then to Mr. Rahel Dar. Do you agree?
I beg to differ a bit. I think if there was a sincere ambition on President Zardari's part, he should have done that on 18th of February, when people of Pakistan gave a mandate for the change. But unfortunately, the change didn't happen, and that's why the people of Pakistan had to take the rights to the streets in Pakistan. And that, but I'm glad at the same time that they realized the fate and they saw it coming. And I can assure you, if they had not come to senses and not listened to the people of Pakistan, the decision would have been different. But I'm so glad that we all have come together. It's a win-win situation for everybody. And finally, I think the government has woken up to the people of Pakistan, and we hope that this continues and they will let the judiciary to be independent.
Mr. Nawaz, did President Zardari really have a choice in this decision? You had thousands of protesters bearing down on the capital, Islamabad. They were about to join a sit-in outside the Parliament building. Was it perhaps more an act of desperation rather than a concession?
Well, it was both an act of desperation and a concession, because clearly, first of all, in response to what the gentleman from the People's Party in the Punjab was saying, there were no members of the People's Party as such in this demonstration in support of the lawyers' movement. The lawyers' movement was supported by Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif and the Jamaat-e-Islami and the Tehreek-e-Insaf. None of the other parties was part of it. So President Zardari clearly felt that he was losing ground, particularly in the Punjab, where even the senior police officers and the Assistant Attorney General had resigned in protest. So he had no choice, plus he was under great pressure from the United States as well as from the Army Chief to resolve this matter. But he's done it in a very clever way, and I think the political implications of that are likely to last for a while, which may not be such smooth sailing in the weeks ahead.
Mr. Khan, why didn't President Zardari keep his promise to reinstate the Chief Justice? Because if he had done that, then perhaps these protests wouldn't have happened.
Well, I think he has finally done it, and we should appreciate what he has done it for the sake of the country. And Mr. Shuja was saying that it was the pressure of Punjab. We must also realize the feelings of the other provinces also. It was People's Party's workers who initiated the Chief Justice movement, and none of the others laid their lives for that. Even one of our Central Executive Committee member is even now without his legs. There was a bomb attack on the People's Party camp, and it is wrong to say that People's Party has not contributed to this. We must congratulate and thank the nation also, and we must be grateful to the Prime Minister and President of Pakistan.
The clashes between the police and the lawyers, the running battles that we've seen over the past few days in Lahore, really do seem to resemble those that we saw in 2007 when Pervez Musharraf declared a state of emergency. He was cracking down on political opponents, and here Zardari was doing the very same thing, using the same tactics.
We have saved the country from another grave crisis. I always say that it is always through a dialogue that you resolve the issues, and if this issue has been resolved, we must look for a better Pakistan and a better future for the poor downtrodden people, and we must all sit down and resolve the issues through a dialogue. And People's Party has also been the great champion of these long marches, but ultimately you have to sit down and resolve the issues through a dialogue instead of getting into controversy who did not participate. With a better spirit, we should all join hands.
Well, let me put some of what you say then to Mr. Shuja Nawaz. Does this decision mean a better future for Pakistan? The people were protesting for an independent judiciary. Is this what they are now going to get?
Well, we hope so. I think it's a very good step in the sense that a showdown was averted, because that would have really been disastrous for Pakistan, given its very serious economic situation and given the fight against militancy inside its own borders. There was a huge distraction for the government as it was trying to cope with the Long March and its after effects, particularly in the critical province of Punjab. And you can't forget that it is the economic center of Pakistan in many ways, as well as the political center because of its large population. So it's a good step. I think there's still many more steps to go. There's a question of whether many of the powers of the presidency that General Musharraf had acquired, taken away from Parliament and the Prime Minister, will revert back to the Prime Minister and Parliament.
Well, let me put that point then. Let me put that point to Mr. Khan. There are still some very divisive issues that remain between Zardari and Sharif. Is President Zardari willing to give the power back to the people to change the constitutional amendments made by former President Pervez Musharraf that empowered the president?
Yes, I agree that the Parliament sovereign, and the bill moved in the Assembly will be honored, and we are for the parliamentary system, and the President will have no objection to that. And that too, I again say that you have to sit down and resolve through a dialogue and bring the issues to the Parliament. We believe
so you're saying that Zardari will reverse changes that were introduced to the Constitution by Musharraf?
Whatever the decision of the Parliament will be there, will be honored, duly respected by Mr. Zardari. And secondly, we should not politicize the judiciary. I hope the decision will be taken not with a biased mood, but with openness and in the interest of the country.
Mr. Rahel Dar, has Zardari's retreat on this issue enhanced his rival Nawaz Sharif's standing?
Well, I think, like I said before, it's a first step in the right direction. We have to keep in mind that Pakistan has a parliamentary form of government. That means the presidency is just ceremonial. And the powers taken up by Zardari were inherited from Pervez Musharraf. And people of Pakistan had given their mandate on 18th of February, thinking that parliament will be sovereign and all decisions will be taken in the parliament. But unfortunately, the things have to come to this point that we have to take to the street and people have to claim their rights. If they were sincere, I'm not being stochastic here, I'm being realistic. If Zardari had been sincere and had kept his word, it would not have to come this showdown.
But Sharif had his own reasons for throwing his full weight behind these protests, didn't he, after he and his brother Shahbaz were banned from elected office by the Supreme Court? He too has his political ambitions, surely.
Well, that's clearly my point. I think you have just hit the nail at the right head now. The thing is, our claim from day one had been that the judiciary in Pakistan was tainted, it was not fair, it was implanted, and it was being played by the executive. And that's why Mr. Sharif, Nawaz Sharif and Shahbaz Sharif did not appear in these kangaroo courts. These courts were set up by Musharraf regime, and they were taken over by Zardari to serve them their own needs and purposes. They were trying to ouster the popular leader of Pakistan. Mr. Nawaz Sharif is the most popular leader of Pakistan, and they were trying to get him out of the political arena by maneuvering the courts. And this is exactly the people of Pakistan had stood for, and they wanted the mandate of people of Pakistan to be respected, like we respected People's Party's mandate in the center, even though they don't have the majority to form the government, but we helped them to form the government. And that's what we expected, that we would expect in Punjab also, which is the largest province in Pakistan.
You say that, but didn't Nawaz Sharif try to do something very similar when he was Prime Minister in 1997? He too made changes to the Constitution that was seen as trying to stifle opposition to his rule.
Well, the answer to that is, in a democratic society and in a parliament, if Zardari's government had made the amendment to the Constitution, it was a whole different story. He was manipulating the Constitution based on the powers he was given or taken by dictator Musharraf. The parliament and the Constitution of Pakistan was not being followed. And the Constitution of Pakistan clearly states that Chief Justice of Pakistan cannot be removed. Iftekhar Chaudry was the Chief Justice of Pakistan. He could not be removed by an individual, either be Musharraf or Asif Zardari.
Okay, well, it's time for a short break now, but when we come back, we'll be looking at whether the current political crisis in Pakistan is really over. Stay with us.